All right, so then once you have that, if you want to test it out, this is basically what you want to do. So you want to do from Selenium import WebDriver, and then we're also going to want this keys from it too. So we'll do that. And then let me take a peek. Yeah, we want to create a driver basically. So this will be the object that connects to our browser, and we have it do all the stuff we want it to do on websites. So depending on which browser you use, you do dot, and then you could do like Chrome here, but I'm doing Firefox. So that should take a second to load. And then we can test it out by trying to get a website. So we'll just do Google to start with. So if all three of those cells run with no errors, then you should be installed and good to go. So as soon as you reach that point, go ahead and give me a thumbs up with that like React button here on Zoom.
So I have an error saying like Chrome driver executable needs to be in path.
Yep, so do you have Chrome driver and Chrome in your Anaconda folder?
Yeah.
And you're sure it's like this Anaconda 3 folder with like Python in it?
I do have Python in it.
Okay. Did you check your Chrome version and get the right driver for it?
Let me see.
Because there was, if you're on Chrome version 83, 81, or 80, you get a different one.
So my version is 81, but end with 129.
That should be fine to use this one. Did you already get the 81 one,
yeah.
though? Okay.
Let me rerun it.
How did you get an instance of your browser into this Anaconda 3 folder?
I just copy and pasted it.
Yeah,
You're on Windows, right?
Yeah.
So I just did, like I right-clicked on it here, file location, and then this takes me to the shortcut. So then I have to go to open file location again. And then I just copied this application and pasted it in here.
Okay. Because it can't be a shortcut, right?
Right. Yep, it has to be the actual application.
Okay, that's going to be frustrating for me.
This meeting is being recorded.
Bonnie, were you able to rerun yours?
Yeah, but still getting that error. So I just type webdriver.chrome.
Let's see if this has a solution.
I just pasted what I did in the chat for Mac on Chrome. I didn't have it in the driver path for the Anacondas. I had it in the folder what I'm working in now.
So
but
I
for
would
your
just
driver path, you probably just want to put where the Chrome driver is in the Anacondas.
okay,
Yeah, that can work too.
just paste that driver path.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do we need any files or is it just a new notebook today?
Just a new notebook. Yep.
Okay.
These are going to be a little more informal study groups, so they're all going to be kind of code along like this. But I'll
Okay.
post my notebook afterwards just so you have like a copy of it.
Okay.
So has anyone ran this and gotten it to work?
I'm opening a notebook right now. What?
Is anyone else getting any errors?
I'm gonna try again.
Okay.
Working on. Yes, failed to create Chrome process, and I had a security thing pop up.
Interesting. So maybe try this. Google Chrome properties, compatibility, not run as administrator.
So Google Chrome properties isn't even an option.
It might be like in the actual browser and then like the menu.
Yeah, it said properties isn't an option.
Oh.
Let's see.
There should be something similar then.
Right click. Properties. Oh, okay, it's on the app.
Actually, yeah, right click on the exe file and then go to properties compatibility.
Yeah.
And then you can just give it administrator rights.
What? I'm not seeing that.
Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah.
Let me stop this.
Share screen. This is what I'm trying to look at.
Okay. Go to change settings for all users at the bottom.
So
Run this program as administrator.
okay.
Might work.
It makes me wonder.
Let me screen back up. And then this is the Jupyter code to test it out.
Definitely gonna have to restart. Okay. Still getting the same error. I might have to reopen a new window.
You could just try to do the Firefox one if you already have that installed.
I don't.
You don't? Okay.
No.
Hmm.
Why can I not open the chat?
Okay.
I lost my chat window. There it is.
You know what? That's what I'm gonna
Let me
do.
just...
If we're using Chrome, do we just write Chrome, I guess?
Yeah. Yeah, so off of here, you'll be able to see, you can run it as a lot of different things, Android, BlackBerry, Internet Explorer. But you want the capitalized Chrome. I forget what the lowercase one does. So you don't want that one. And once you run that successfully, you should see a new browser window open on its own. And on Firefox and probably on Chrome, there should be something like weird here that indicates a bot is controlling it.
I'm getting a bunch of crashes for a bunch of extensions.
I would maybe just install Firefox at this point. Bonnie, were you able to get yours to run?
No.
And you tried what Jacob put in the chat?
Yeah, I put my application path, but it says like executable may have wrong permissions.
I'm thinking this is like all the same issue with Chrome. If you're on Mac, maybe try the Safari one. And if you're on Windows, try the Firefox.
Okay.
Chrome might just be a little bit more finicky to get to run with this.
The security on Chrome is huge. It's a security issue, definitely. Like now my Jupyter notebook's not even opening.
I would turn off that run as administrator thing.
Yeah.
That's probably part of it.
You can try adding the driver and the web app to the folder where your notebook is.
Yeah, it's in my path. So the problem is like Jupyter notebook's not even opening at all.
Or Beth, you could try Edge too, since you probably already have that installed. You don't want to use Edge.
God, no.
It's built on Chromium technology.
Mm-hmm.
I might hop over onto my Mac for this part, which would be infuriating.
Jacob, were you able to get Safari working on Mac?
I didn't try. Let me try real quick.
Yeah, my Jupyter notebook's crashing immediately upon opening.
If I use Safari, do I need to open my Jupyter Notebook on a Safari?
No, it can be on a separate browser, a different one. I think you might be able to get it to work if you do these options. So I actually had a similar issue trying it with Chrome, and then I just ended up using Firefox. So let me try it on mine. Because I think if I do Chrome here, yeah, I failed to create Chrome process. Where was it?
For Chrome, you have to pass that executable path into it as a string.
Yeah, I followed what Jacob did, and mine actually worked no problem.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Well, it did not work either. All right, let's try this.
Okay. Um, what? Oh my God. Oh, never mind. Okay. Oh, escape
Oh,
code for just
I'm
a second.
dumb. I need to put the actual thing here. Oh, of course, it's the wrong version.
This is weird. It's saying that, never mind. Hold on. Something that's in my executable path needs to be in my executable path.
All right, I got mine working. With what Jacob said about the path. Beth, did you try this? Like the path to the actual thing and then passing that in?
Yes, but I'm still getting an error. So I added options.
And I didn't actually end up using the options. Try it without all that.
Okay. Let's do path. I am really terrible at writing paths. Nope.
What folder did you end up calling it to?
In mine, it's in the Anaconda 3 files. That's where my Chrome driver is. And
Okay.
it's still not doing.
And you have the Chrome application in that folder?
Yes.
Bonnie, were you able to get it working?
No, I'm trying on my work computer.
We'll get it eventually, guys. This is probably the hardest part of the whole thing.
Which is why I did not do it for my Mod 5 project.
It took me like an hour to get it set up last night. I was looking at an article on Towards Data Science about it to scrape images.
Mm-hmm.
And that path was like the part I kept messing up on, writing it wrong. But I ended up getting it working.
So Jacob, if I put the executable path, does the Chrome driver and Chrome need to be in the same folder?
Yes.
Your path just has to go straight to it.
So it doesn't have to be in the same folder as the Chrome, right?
Well, the Chrome app and the driver have to be in the same one. Because when
Okay.
you try to open it, it needs that application to open. The drivers are just what's going on under the hood behind the application.
Trying my desktop. Please work.
So Brendan and Jacob have it working. What about Serena and Andrew? Have you guys had any luck?
No. I did pip install for Selenium, but then it couldn't find it in my it said like module not found. And so then I'm wondering if it has something to do with like different dependencies, because normally I use Conda. So I uninstalled it and I'm reinstalling it through Conda Forge. And then I'm trying to set the other stuff up, but no luck yet.
Okay.
No luck from me either.
Are you getting any errors?
Haven't even got far enough copying the things across yet.
Oh, I got a different error.
What's this one say?
WebDriver exception. Unknown error, Chrome failed to start. But it's a WebDriver now, which is good, which means everything's referenced correctly.
And you have the right version? I'd assume so, because I got an error that said the version was wrong.
Oh, I hate this. Okay. So I don't know how to do the R thing whenever you're trying to do your OS paths.
You mean with like the R out front or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't even mess with that.
Okay.
I usually just do it like this.
That I
If you do like Matt did and go to the properties, it should give you that direct path.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm getting the direct path, but it has it has backslashes instead of forward slashes, which is like it's an escape character. So Jupyter or Python is like, oh, it's an escape character. I don't know how to read this.
Oh yeah, you have to flip them all the other way. It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Juliet, what about you? Any luck? Just the same error? Or?
Yeah, the whole path thing, and I don't honestly, I don't even get it. So.
So you went
pound, well not pound, the explanation point and PWD, it should print whatever directory you're in. And if you have that Chrome driver in the same directory, you can just pull that. Pretty much wherever you have the Jupyter notebook open, if that makes sense.
Jacob, this is kind of maybe a silly question, but how did you actually get a copy of the Chrome app? Not the exe, but the Chrome app. Because I like right click copy and then tried to, but it won't give me a paste option. Did you do something else?
No, I just copied and pasted.
Okay, because the only thing I can do is get like a shortcut to it, but maybe that has something to do with, I don't know, some security settings. Did you have Chrome open at the time? Like, do you think I should just close out of all of everything?
No, I had it open. I just double clicked and copied on the Mac to the folder, double clicked and paste.
And you copied it from like Mac, like applications?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try again. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I did the same, and I put Chrome and Chrome driver in my desktop now, and it still doesn't work.
What's your string here look like for the path?
Let me copy paste it here.
Oh my God.
Oh, try putting .ex, or no, I guess on Mac it's just a file. Never mind. That should be fine. That looks like Jacob's mostly.
So we have to put the driver where we're working, like the folder we're working in. I thought it had to just, wait, that's my question. Do we have to put the driver in the folder we're working in?
No.
So the driver and the Chrome program itself just have to be in the same folder. And then wherever it is, you just have to figure out the path to get there
All to get
and pass
there.
that in. Yep. And Bonnie, you have the Chrome application on your desktop?
Do.
Interesting.
That's funny. Should I be getting like every time that there's an error in my notebook, should I be getting that feedback to wherever I started my kernel from?
What do you mean?
Like, should I be seeing it in Git Bash or in the command line?
You might. Let me see. Yeah, you'll see it on there, I think.
Because that's not happening for me. This is so weird.
Bonnie, did you say you tried Firefox on Mac too?
Firefox doesn't work. Actually, I got it working on my work computer, so on a Windows. So I think I'm good.
Oh, but not on Mac. Okay.
You guys has to do with security issue, I guess.
Yeah, so I think just do the switch now. So do Firefox or Safari. If it's Firefox, all you have to do is have the program and the driver in your Anaconda folder, and then the driver is just Firefox, and it'll just know to look.
It looks like you also have to make sure that your Chrome driver is the right version.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so for me, something happened, but then it stopped happening.
What happened?
It tried to open up another Chrome window, and then it stopped. And so now it
Does
opens
it
up
say anything in your terminal?
replaying 6 buffered messages. That's the last thing it says.
Anything related to Chrome or Selenium?
Selenium, it says saving file. No, not really. So another window just opened saying Chrome is being controlled by an automated test software.
Yep, that's what you want.
Oh, that's what I want.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. I got it going too now.
Cool. All right. 2 more down. All right. And you guys are both on Mac?
No, I'm on a PC.
All right. So both of you post your code, what it looks like, to try to help everyone else out. It'll be a different path, but...
Mine's actually exactly the same as yours. So I moved the Chrome driver into where the Chrome application was. Well, copied it there, and also copied it in the Anaconda folder.
I can tell you.
I actually followed Bonnie's code, and it worked for me.
But then Bonnie's code doesn't work for her. Makes sense.
I've actually been having some issues with Chrome the past couple of days, and running, like, it's been using somewhere around 50% of the memory that I have, and it shouldn't be. So I think there's actually something weird going on with my instance of Chrome.
There might be. I don't use Chrome because it uses a lot of memory.
Yeah, but it's secure. Ugh.
It's a trade-off. Bonnie, can you share your screen? Let me try to see if I see anything.
Which one, my Mac or my work?
On your Mac, yeah.
Okay, yep. Share screen. So I was doing Chrome. Executable path equals path.
Cannot find Chrome binary. Okay. And then go to your desktop in your file explorer.
Yeah, I don't think you can see that. I'll share my desktop then. Share my. Can you see it?
Yeah, let me see.
So my desktop, here I have the driver, I have the app.
I think that needs to be just called Google Chrome. I think it's maybe the 2 that's messing it up. Try running it again.
Oops, it worked.
There we go.
Oh my God,
Hey.
thank you.
Yeah, it's always something small. Serena, have you had any luck?
They didn't do that.
So yes, it started to open something up, but then I'm getting like a Chrome driver cannot be opened because the developer cannot be verified. So I'm just trying to get into my settings to let it be okay.
Okay, yeah, that's probably just like a rights thing.
Yeah.
I think I found out what's going on for me. I have 2 instances of the application not running, but I have 2 folders with 2 different installations.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. So
One
yeah,
of-
put the other one in. and that
One of
should
them's
work.
empty, but and it's not letting me delete it.
If you go to like uninstall program,
Well, the reason why it's telling me that it can't be deleted is because it's saying that there's an instance of it open, but I've killed everything in the task manager.
it might be in your like Jupyter, like in Python.
I haven't shut everything down in Python. That's a good idea.
So I guess while everyone's waiting, let's go ahead and look at something we're going to use in a little bit. It's called Xpath. It's basically a way to reference web elements on a web page. So let me post this link and I'll give you something to read while we get the last couple people hooked up here. This should give you like an overview.
This is weird. My Python instances are multiplying.
Something has gone on with your computer.
Yeah, no, I've been trying to figure it out. Because up until about a week and a half ago, I'd never used more than 10% of my memory. And I already know, like, I found a Trojan on my mom's computer a week ago.
Serena, did you figure out any permission stuff? You did?
Yeah, all good, thank you.
Okay. Are you trying something else, Beth?
Yeah, I'm hopping over to my Mac because it's not even letting me uninstall Chrome. So definitely have something going on.
Seems like it.
Yeah, and nothing that have done to try to figure out what's going on has worked. So I'm gonna have to figure that out at a later date.
All right, well, while you're getting that, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna go on and explain some basics here of Selenium. So here's Google. It's nice if you open it in split screen view like this so you can see your code and the web browser that the bot's running, because then you can see what happens as you run stuff. So basically, we're gonna start off by trying to make it search for something. So Selenium is different than scraping we did previously. Previously, we would just make requests. We would get the HTML, basically parse the HTML for what we wanted to find. Selenium actually takes control of your browser and can click on things and do a lot more manipulation. It can do things like logging in to websites, which is nice. And it also avoids detection by websites on making too many requests or anything. It's a lot more human-like, so it can get around a lot of things. So first of all, we're just going to try searching for something. So the first thing to do is to enter text into the search bar. So you're going to right-click on the search bar and then click Inspect. This will bring up basically the HTML viewer in whatever browser you have. And then if you're on Chrome, and maybe it's the same on Firefox, if you click this button on the top left, select an element in the page to inspect it, and then click on something in the page that you want to look at, it'll actually take you to the HTML code for that. So here is the search box. It's an input tag. So this is what we need to reference first. So we need to basically get this element. And to do that, we do driver and then find element by Xpath. Xpath is basically a way to reference elements, which are all these parts of the HTML. It has kind of a weird syntax. So if you want to just search the whole HTML, you usually start with a double slash, and then you want the element tag name. So this is an input tag, so we do input. Then we're going to have something inside of brackets. So this is going to be how we narrow it down, because if we just search for input, we can actually do that here. If we do Control F and then just do // input, this will bring up all the inputs. So we can see there's actually 13 of them, but we want the search bar in particular. So we need to look at its HTML a little more closely to find something specific in here that will get us to select just this one. So some good things are usually names or IDs or titles. And you also want to avoid any kind of numbers. Usually numbers can change. So you see this like code here for data, VED, like that's probably going to change every time you go to the web page. So that's not going to be really reliable. But something like title equals search or name equals Q, that's going to be constant every time you open this page. So we're actually going to use name equals Q. So the cool thing is you can just double click on one and copy it. And we're going to come over here. So the syntax is to do @ the name of the attribute. I'm actually just going to paste it though. The name of the attribute equals, and then in quotes, whatever value. So once you have that, that should find this element. So we want to set this equal to something. So we'll just call it search bar equals that. And if we run this, it should just run correctly. So once we have that element, we can send text to it basically. So you do search bar dot send keys. And then here we're just going to pass in whatever text we want to enter. So we can search for something like puppies. And once we run this, let me move this over, it should type it in over here on our bot browser. So now that that's entered, we want to click the search button at the bottom. So I'm going to right click on that, do inspect, and then this is also an input, and the value is Google search, which that seems like it'll be unique. So I'm going to copy that one. I can click on it. And I'm just going to type it in. So now we want to get the search button. So again, we do driver.find element by Xpath. That's going to be the same every time. This is also an input. The value is what we're going to look at, and we want Google search. So that should give us an instance or a reference to that button element. And then all we do is search button dot click. And it should click the search and basically search for puppies. So you can imagine from this, we could go to the images, download the images. We could, look at the top links, do a lot of different things. Is everyone able to get this far? Beth, were you able to get it installed?
No, I'm working on it.
Okay.
So I got a error message, element not interactable.
What's your code here look like? Is it for the search button?
Search button is this same driver.find element by path, Xpath. Yeah, it looks the same.
And you're still, this is still what it looks like on your browser?
Yeah, puppies. I can get the puppies to work.
Oh, you didn't get the puppies to work either?
I can.
Oh, you can, okay. And this is exactly the same?
Uh-huh.
Interesting. And your Google looks exactly the same as this. It says Google search.
Yeah.
That is weird. Can you share your screen real quick?
Yeah.
Go to your browser over on the right. And then click that select button and then the Google search button.
So the value equals Google search.
Yeah, that should work fine. Rerun cell 30 through the end of your notebook. Not interactable. That's weird. Did anybody else get that?
Yeah, I got a similar error too.
Here, let me share my screen again. Try doing import time.
Who's playing music?
Oh, that's my background. My wife's watching the TV.
I know that shouldn't work. Actually, Bonnie, just try running so driver.get Google down to puppies and then wait and then run the search button and the click.
Yeah. It worked now.
Okay, so it might just be if you run it all together. So sometimes with this, you have to add pauses. So you can import time, and then you do time.sleep, and this is in milliseconds, I think. So you can basically have it wait a second. So let me.
Interesting.
So it waited. I think it's that's actual seconds. So I don't want to wait 1,000. I think I just want sleep 1. Which I'm probably going to have to restart. Let's run. Have to import time. Yeah, so that should work then. If you're going to run it all together, you just want to have a pause in there. That will actually probably come up a lot, especially on some websites. It might take a second to load stuff, so you might want to have some pauses in between. Was everyone else able to do the search though? Andrew, did yours work?
No, I'm still getting like the original kind of error, the element click intercepted exception.
Just make sure your browser looks like this, and then double check the code.
Sure, maybe I typed something in wrong.
So Matt, after you execute the click, it actually give you the search result, right?
Yeah, so then when I do click here, it should bring up this page.
Yeah, mine actually did not.
What did it do?
Just phrases.
Did you do sleep 1 or sleep 1,000?
I did sleep 5.
Okay, that should only be 5 seconds. Try it with just, is it just still running that cell?
Give me 1 second, it's running. Yeah, after I run the click, it just give me the puppies, not even the drop down.
Oh, so it just did. So it didn't do this drop down thing?
No, like when I click, when I actually could click.
That should still work. You might have to just have it all in separate and do it step by step for now, if that seemed to work.
Oh, never mind, go ahead.
Okay, we'll have some time to backtrack if anybody has a problem still. So the thing I thought would be cool to show off kind of as practice is to work with the site angel list. Since you guys are going to be doing job searching soon, this could actually be something you use in your job search. So we're going to go to that website. So we're going to do driver.get. And then I think it's angel.co maybe. Let's see. Definitely messed that up. Angel.co. Yep. So it should bring this up. So we're going to have to log in. So I need this login element up here to be clicked. So I'm going to inspect on it. And I basically see that it's an A tag, which is common for links. It has the link in here, the href, and then it has text. So I need to get access to that so I can click it. So I need my login element, and I'm going to do driver.find element by Xpath, and then I just need to reference this. So //a and brackets, and then there's not much good to use here. I could do the href, but if you imagine this was like a different kind of link, that probably wouldn't be good. And this class has like numbers and stuff in it, so that probably isn't good either because it might change. I can actually use the text that's inside of it. So I do that by doing contains parentheses text with open and close parenthesis, and then comma, and then the text that I want to search for. So I just want log in. So I'm looking for an A tag that contains the text login. If I run that, it should give me reference to it. And then I should be able to do login element.click. And mine is taking a while for some reason. There we go. I don't know why that took so long. Did it load quickly for everyone else? Did it just take as long as it did for me? Okay. So just a weird timing thing. So that brings us to the login. So now this is where traditional web scraping can't really work if you're on a site that you need to actually log into like this. So I'm actually going to put my email and password in here. I made a fake account, so I don't care if you guys steal it or get on it. You usually probably shouldn't share passwords and stuff like this, but this is a fake account. So my email I'm going to create, and you guys can do this too. Hopefully you all created an AngelList account. This is an email address for a web design company I thought about making at one point and never saw through. And then I made a really bad password. So you'll have to create both of those just so we can pass them in. So now we need to get the email and the password element, enter these texts in it, and then click this login button. So it's going to be doing a lot of what we've already done. So we need email element. And we'll go ahead and look at the HTML here. So it's an input and placeholder equals email. That seems pretty good. So we want input brackets at placeholder equals email, capitalized. So that should give us our email element. And then we also want the password. The password is going to be almost identical. It's just password instead of email. So you can copy that. And then we're also going to want this login button. So this is an input and the value equals login. So we'll use that. And we already made a login element, so we'll just make this one slightly different. So it's input, and then we want the value to equal login, both capitalized. So we should be able to run those. So we have a reference to all three of the ones we want. Now we just have to run down through and enter or click on them. So email element dot send keys, and we just want email. That should put that in there. Then we can do password element dot send keys password, and then login element dot click. And that should log us in. And if you guys want to give me a thumbs up if you were able to get it to log in. All right, Bonnie's good. And Jacob's good.
Quick question. I'm almost there. But it show because I had put the wrong email by mistake. So how do I could just delete in the thing, or I can't touch that website at all.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
So I had put the wrong email in before. Can I physically delete the old email in that website, or is that gonna
Yeah, you can still change and interact with the
Okay.
website. Yeah.
Just making sure.
You just don't want to, change something that then you're going to interact with because it'll just mess up your code.
Okay.
You usually just want to leave it alone, but yeah, it should be fine. All right, so the next thing I'm thinking to kind of make it a little more challenging, if you go to more and then to companies, so this lists all the companies on Angel's list, or Angel list, which could be pretty helpful, whether you're job searching, whether you're looking to, make connections in some industry. So if you go to one of these company pages, it actually lists the founders, which is cool. So you could say, well, maybe I want to get, all the founders of companies in some industry. And then if you go to their actual profile, they should have a LinkedIn link if they have that connected. So the idea is going to be, we're going to search for some industry, all the companies, all the startups, and then we're going to get the LinkedIn profiles of all the founders of all those companies. So that then we could either do another automation thing where we actually on our LinkedIn, send something to them, or we just have the list for our own reference, and then we could contact them just by ourselves manually. So that's kind of the goal. So we're going to want to start off on this companies page. You can just have it, driver.get, and then this page, that'll load it once you're logged in, of course. So we're going to want to search for some keyword for an industry. So for this, we need to actually click on this text bar, and then we enter the text here. So it's kind of like we have to make this show up first by clicking on it. So we're going to get this element, which appears to just be a div class or a div element with class search box. So we'll try to get that. So search box element equals driver.find element by Xpath. And it is div. And then class equals search. Why does that look funny? Oh. Class equals search box. And too many there. So we have the search box. So then we want to click on it. And that did not work. It actually clicked on investors. So let's copy this and do a search on the HTML. So there should only be one. It should just click on that. Let's see. Search box. Let's try it again. Yeah, it keeps clicking there. So maybe there's something else we could get. Div class equals. Okay, so we could try clicking on the magnifying glass. So this one's also a div, and then the class equals this long thing. So we'll try that. And now it clicked on type. Let me cheat and look at what I had earlier because it was working then. I did search box there too. Did anybody else try search box and it worked?
Worked for me.
It should be working. Row current state, maybe. Yeah, it's like clicking here. Let me just switch to Firefox real quick. And I opened one too many. There we go. Okay, for some reason it didn't like that on Chrome. You may or may not run into that. I'm not sure why that happens, honestly. But so now we've opened the search box, so now we have to enter a keyword here. So in Firefox, it just looks a little bit different, but it's the same basic idea. It just puts it at the bottom. So once we're in here, we need to get this element. Let's bring this up. So this is an input, and the placeholder is enter a keyword. So we'll use that. So let's just do keyword element equals driver.find element by Xpath. And then we want input, and we want this placeholder equals enter a keyword. And so since these are kind of tied together, I'm gonna want to run them all in the same cell so I don't mess it up by going off the page. So we'll just put them in order like this. So then I'll have this box. I'll want to send some text to it. So keyword element equals, or no, we want to do a send keys. And then you guys can choose whatever you want here. I'm just going to do like video games. So we'll do video game companies. So that should enter the text. And then what happens when we do that? Let's see. So then nothing happens. We have to hit enter. And then it seems to search. So now we have to send the enter key to this element. So you do that by doing the keyword element. Again, send keys. But now instead of passing in a string, we're going to use this keys that we imported from Selenium. This lets us access any keyboard key that we would need to press. So enter, escape, space, tab, all those things. So it's just keys dot enter. And that should then hit enter and do the search. So let's try it out. So it should search for our keyword, hit enter, and then that narrows down the companies. So I'll give everyone a second to get that going. And the next thing, and now I have a list of all those companies. So I'm going to need to click on each one. Each one has a different URL. So the first thing is going to be to just go down through and find all of these company names and basically get the links off of them. So if we inspect one of them, we can see that it's an A tag. And then the attribute href is actually what we want. So we want to copy all those links. So we actually want to get all of them this time. So we're going to do company link elements equals driver.find elements plural by Xpath. So this will return a list of all the elements that match that. If we did just find element, it will return the first one. So find element only returns one, find elements will return all of them. And so we want a tag. And then it looks like class would be good. Class equals startup link. So we'll do at class equals startup link. And that should get us all of them. So then we can just, let's see. Yeah, so we'll just run that. That should get us all the links. And then for company link element in company link elements. So now we want to loop through that list. And for each one, we want to take the individual element and do, let's see, is it get attribute maybe? Let me just test this out real quick. Yeah, so get attribute. And then the attribute we want is the href because we want to get this like text link. So name equals href. So that'll get us the link. So we're going to want to build a list of this. So company links equals an empty list. And then we just want to do company links.append to basically build the list of all the links for the companies. And then we'll just take a look at it. So you'll notice a lot of them are doubled up. This is actually because if we copy that XPath we used and search it on here, we can see that the pictures also have a link. So we want to ignore those basically. So we can find a difference then between the actual picture one and the one with the name. So this lets me go back and forth. So I'm just looking at the bottom there in the inspector, and I'm going to find something that's different. So let's see, the class is startup link, data type is startup. Let's see. So on the picture one, there's no text inside of it. But on the title one, there is text. So we can use that actually. So we can do if company link element dot text. So this will get us the text in the element. If it's not blank, then it's a company title one. Then we'll add it to the list. And I messed up the indent there. String is not callable. Oh, I think it's just text with no parentheses. Yep. So that gave me a list of all those. And you guys will notice that it actually stops and you have to click more to get all of them. So that could be something else we do. So we get all of them, then we click more, then we get all the new ones and basically keep doing that. So that can be something you guys do afterwards is like extra stuff. But so let's go ahead and take a look at one of these company pages. So we can go to all of these pages. And then we're interested in these two links here. So we want both of the founders. So let's go ahead and look at the HTML for one of these. So let's see, it's an A class. There's not really anything good here. It has the name, but the name's going to be different for all of them. So in this case, we actually want to look up in the structure at the parent element. So you can see by the indent, this A class is within this H4 element. So I'm thinking that I can maybe use this H4 element, search all of those, and then get the A children of them. So I can go ahead and test that out here in the inspector. So the way to do that with parent elements is to do the parent that you're interested in. So we want the H4, and then this is another thing. So you can see this class name is really long and it has numbers in it. The numbers might change, but this like font weight medium, that's probably going to stay the same. So if I only want to, search a part of one of the attributes, I can do contains and then at class, and then basically the substring that I'm looking for. So font weight medium. So if I search for those, I didn't get anything because I have to close the parenthesis on contains. So now I can get all of these H4s. So these below are also H4s. I don't want those, but those don't have an A tag under them. Only these with the actual founder links have them. So just stringing off of this parent element, then I can do //A. So that gets me all the A tags under H4s that match this condition. So now I just have these two here, which is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to copy this Xpath out of here. So now the thing is going to be to loop through these URLs, go to the page, and then find these elements. So for company URL and company links, I want to first go to the page. Then I want to get the founder elements. So I want to do driver.get or find elements by Xpath, and notice it's elements plural because we're going to get two of them. And then I'm just going to pass in that Xpath that I already tested out. So that should give me both founder elements. And now within that, I need to click on each one. And actually, let's see. Yeah, so I want to click on each one and then go to their page here and then check if they have a LinkedIn button. And then I actually want to come back here and go to the next one. So this might open a ton of tabs. So let's see what happens. So for founder element and founder elements, so I just want to click on each one. So we'll do founder.click, founder element.click. So that should click on it. It'll open the profile. Then I'm interested in this LinkedIn. So let's inspect that. So it's an A tag and data field equals LinkedIn URL. That should be good. So we'll do driver.find element by Xpath. And we want an A tag and then at data field equals LinkedIn URL. So that should find that. One thing I found though in doing this is that not everyone has that on their page. So if we get to someone that doesn't and we're in the middle of this loop, it'll basically kill the whole thing. So that's why we want to do a try catch here. So we want to do try and then our try accept. So what this will do is try to get this if it's there. If not, it'll just go to the next founder. So once we get that, then the LinkedIn URL is just the href attribute. So we need to set this equal to linked in element. Whoops. And then the actual LinkedIn URL is going to equal the LinkedIn element dot get attribute name equals href. So that should give me the LinkedIn URL. I'll give everyone a second to catch up here. We're almost done. Let's see. And then the other thing, we're gonna have to compile a list. So we want linked in URLs to be an empty list. And then we just want to append in here. And I think this will open a ton of tabs. So we're gonna add driver.close. That might close the tab, it might close the whole thing. So we'll find out in a second. And then I'm just gonna limit this to basically the first company for testing. And so before I test this, I wanna make sure I'm back to the page that I'm assuming I'm on before I start this code. So let's go ahead and run this to go back to the companies. Mine is being very slow. I'm just gonna kill that and make a new one. All right, so I need to go here, here, and here. See, if you run things too fast, it sometimes will miss things because the page hasn't loaded yet. So you do probably want like some pauses in between each of these cells if you're gonna run the whole thing. All right, so let's try here. So it did open, let's see, linked in URLs. I don't have any in there. So something it did not like. So let's go ahead and take out the try except for now, just so we actually can see the error. No such element on the LinkedIn URLs. Okay, so something is probably different. So let's inspect. Let's see, data field equals. Okay, it might be a timing thing. So let's add a time.sleep in here of 1 second. And make sure we're back to the companies page here. And I probably need to do the search again. There you go. Again, it did not like that. So let's see.
You have to do like a click on the LinkedIn element.
We should just be able to get the element itself. So data field equals, that should all be fine. Maybe we'll add a longer pause. Yeah, it does not like that. Did anybody else get to that point and try that? Try waiting 5 seconds. Let me check what I used earlier.
Instead of using the data field, is it possible to use like the icon? I forget what it was called in that element.
Let's see. It should work with just that, because there's only that A tag basically on that picture. Because they get the picture from the CSS, I think. So LinkedIn element driver. So let's try. Yeah, it still did not like that. Let's just try running it while this page is open. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this and then I'm gonna search in here. It definitely sees it there. Let's try searching by the class. Still did not like that. Let's see, driver dot. Okay, I see. It's still on. Gotcha. Okay, it's still on this page, basically, is the thing. The bot is still only looking here. So let me see what I did differently. So we go to the company page. Okay, so we need to get the actual link instead of the instead of clicking on it. So we want founder element dot get attribute, and then name equals href, and we want our driver to go there. So now this should work. Let's go back. Oh, don't want to close though. So what happened is that our reference went stale. So we actually want to get this link out of there right when we get the element. So for, let's see. Yeah. So for founder element, oh, we can just use it up here. So founder URL equals that. Founder URLs is a list. And then we just want to append each one. All right, so that'll give us a list of all the founder links. And then for URL and founder URLs, then we'll go to their page and get their LinkedIn stuff. So let's go back to companies, do the search, and then try this. So I went to the first one, went to the second one, and then it's done. And those are blank. Let's see, so get attribute. Oh, I see. So we were appending the list each time. This time it'll work. There we go. Finally. All right, so that gave us both of the LinkedIn links for those founders. So now we could turn this off and just do the whole company list. So let's go to companies, do the search, and then this should just go through all those companies, get both of the founders. So now it's on to the second company, founder, second founder. So this is where this actually becomes useful, because you can imagine doing this manually, how long it would take, or you had a list of 1,000 companies or something. Is everyone able to get theirs running? See, that guy didn't have a LinkedIn link, but the try catch was able to handle it, so it keeps going. This guy doesn't have one either, so it should just skip him. I think Bill Gates comes up as one of the people here, if it didn't already. All right, it's on London Venture Partners. It's like halfway done. So this will take some time. But I know, because I've tested this out before, for AngelList, if you did this just through normal web scraping, they would basically detect it and block you out. And it's probably true for like other job sites, like if you wanted to scrape Indeed or something. Let's see.
Matt, when you rerun the whole thing, where did you start? You just driver get Angel companies.
So
there?
yeah, you want to be on companies and then do your search. And then if you already have your company links, you can just not rerun that, but then you run the LinkedIn part.
I might have, you probably said it earlier, but when is it that we use the get attribute section area there? Like,
So that's if you want to get something in the element. So if you want to get the link that's attached with the href, or if you wanted to get the class or the ID, something like that. And it looks like it did finish here. So we have a list of all these profiles. So now like I could manually, go to all of these or set up another script and basically log in with LinkedIn, add all of them. Probably shouldn't do that. You could add all them and send a message. But you guys get the idea.
So I rerun the thing and I got a error message, URL must be a string.
You're gonna want to make sure this is just exactly the same. So you want to make sure you're saving the URLs off of the get attribute name equals href.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did that.
And then what's the error? Which line is it on?
It's on driver.get URL.
Okay. And you're just doing for URL in your founder URLs.
Uh-huh.
And on this part, you're appending founder URL singular.
Yeah.
There's not an S on this one.
No.
Okay. If you print out founder URLs, what does that show?
Print out founder. None. A bunch of nuns.
Okay. But your company links look good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me try my LinkedIn URLs again. So still blank URL.
Yeah, I would double check the code on this part here.
So Matt, when do we use contains versus the like at after a class?
So contains is if you want to basically search a part of it. So let's go ahead and look at something here. Okay, so see on this div tag how the class equals this long thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I just wanted to see if it had handle in it or if it just had JS, then I could do contains.
Contains an add class. Okay.
Yep.
URLs. So by get attribute, and you put href there, you just get the whole thing in href, right?
Yeah, so if you look on this is the LinkedIn element, you can see the href is like the link to their LinkedIn.
Okay.
So my challenge for you guys then, if you've got this down, is on the same site to basically do something similar, but looking for jobs. So go through, enter, data scientist. You could actually have a list of cities and search on each one. And then you can look at the companies. You could just get the links so that you have them all to go to. You could probably actually automate it so that it applies to all of them. I don't know that that's the smartest thing, but you could at least do it just for practice for using Selenium. But yeah, so it can be helpful for something like this, but also for your capstone if you're looking for a way to scrape data. I think this is a lot easier to work with than doing like web scraping with Beautiful Soup and the stuff we did before. And it can let you work with some more complicated websites. So, and I will upload this notebook here right after this on the Slack channel. And I'll send it to you, Serena, too. So you guys have it. Does anyone have any questions? We're a little over time, so I know that was probably a lot. You basically just have to learn how to pick good selectors. So, you know, picking the right attribute that only gets you that one element you're looking for. And then it's kind of just keeping everything separate so that you're doing things in the right order. And also making sure you don't need to add pauses for things to load, because some websites are slower than others, so you just never know. Oh yeah, and Jacob just mentioned you could actually run multiple drivers at once. So you could have a bunch of instances of this up. So like you could open one up for each city that you're searching for jobs in, and that could run a lot faster then because they all do it in parallel. So that's something else to think about.
Wait, is it just open different notebooks?
So you would just do like driver2 equals webdriver.firefox, and yeah, it would just open another window.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. So it's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, a lot of trial and error, but it's so cool.
It's fun to just watch it do things automatically. It's a little creepy too, but
Thank you.
yep. Well, if no one has any other questions, I'll let you guys go. Wednesday, we're going to be doing just some like Python, NumPy, that kind of stuff review. So it'll be a little bit more familiar stuff for you guys. Alrighty. Well, thanks everyone for coming. I'll see you guys Wednesday. See ya.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.